Yes. All right. Good to go. Yo, you know what it is? It's Monday night, and it's time for another edition of our stay at home open mic. That is what we like to call our version of our online open mic. We hold it every Monday here on Zoom, on YouTube, all around the world, on the web for you guys. So we want to thank you guys for tuning in. If this is your first time joining us, welcome. And if you're returning, welcome back. This is just like any other open mic. All you have to do is sign up if you want to perform. There will be a link down in the description. As long as we're live, you still may be able to join us. But of course, if you're watching the replay as a lovely audience member, one way you can really help out is just being an active audience member. Participate in the comments or in the live chat. Let us know if you're listening in, and if so, where are you listening in from? And of course, give props to each performer. If there's a line that you really love, or if you just want to learn more about them, you can ask questions, and I will give you guys props during the show. Yes, my name is Richie Marrufo. I'll be your MC and host for tonight. You can also find me online as Dead Wall Reveries right there. But we are part of the Barbed Wire Open Mic Series, aka BWOMS, based out of El Paso, Texas, here in the U.S. Southwest. But because of the magic of Zoom and the internet, we are able to connect with people from all over the place, and I love it. So we're going to be going and moving around from coast to coast, all around the country, and sometimes even all around the world. Yeah, so like any other open mic, the rules are very simple. If you want to perform, you have to sign up. Each performer gets about 5 to 7 minutes to do their thing. You don't have to use all that time. If you're a musician, you may have a couple more time for a song or two, especially if we're really vibing out. But otherwise, I do encourage you guys to share your social media handles, your websites, links where we can purchase your books, links to your Spotify accounts, anywhere where we can really support your work. That's really what we want to do. What we want to do. And if you are an EPCC student tuning in for extra credit, it is that time of the semester. Then just stay tuned. I'll be leaving secret codes in the live chat throughout the show. So stick around. I don't want to give it all away right now because then you would just leave, right? So stick around. And if you're here for the Tejano Passport program, we do encourage you guys as well to stick around, and I'll get you info on how to get that info as well. Otherwise, grab yourself a tasty beverage, your beverage of choice, a snack, sit back, kick back, and relax. And we are going to kick off this online show in a way that we never do. In a way we never do. I'm going to kick it off with a couple of cover poems myself. Last week in El Paso, we had Jose Olivares, poet out of Chicago, Chicano poet out of Chicago, visit El Paso, and he got to speak to our students at El Paso Community College during the day. And then we had a special edition open mic in which we encouraged a lot of students to read their own work. We, of course, were also supported by members of the community like Kit, like Robin, like Cassie Olguin Petinato. A lot of great support. And of course, many of us got to hear Jose read from his book, Promises of Gold, which is a bilingual book. It is written in English on one side, and if you flip it around, it's written in Spanish on the other side. Very cool. Our students love that. When I showed you guys that, I lost all the poems I was going to read. Isn't that great? But I wanted to share a couple of his pieces and encourage you guys to check him out if you have not had a chance to already. We will be uploading his lecture at the college, his reading and lecture at the college on this YouTube channel. Stick around for that. And I was able to get a couple of his poems. I'll be uploading that on our YouTube as well. So this is a poem called Tradition. The stories say Mexicans grew out of the dirt, same as the corn stalks. Of course, we weren't Mexicans back then. Whatever we wore was lost. No, not lost, submerged under empire, dyed by blood and gunpowder. Believe what you want. Maybe we grew out of the dirt. Maybe agave is our sibling. Maybe mountains our mother. The oldest tradition I know is watching my dad bet money on Mexican boxers, no matter the odds. I don't know about y'all, but I'm the child of loss and the inheritor of losing. I'm not complaining though. I know the tradition. I bet everything I have on my people and dare the universe to beat us. So that's Tradition. There's another one called Ode to Tortilla that's pretty fun. But this one is called Eating Taco Bell with Mexicans. And some context here, Erica in this poem is his wife. The day I introduced Erica to my brothers, I warned her, my brothers are extra Mexican. What does that mean? She asks. I repeat, extra Mexican. When we hang out, they talk to her in English and ask her how she can love someone as ugly as me. Do you have bad breath? Are your teeth fake? What's wrong with you? Why do you love our brother? They laugh in Spanish at their own jokes. They play Mario Kart and sing along to Bad Bunny. They say they're broke and blame capitalism. They say they're single and blame capitalism. They say they're in love and blame capitalism. They ask Erica if she's hungry and tell her she's in luck. Erica nods. She kisses me on the cheek in a language that needs no translation. She points at me and says, he's the lucky one. My brothers laugh. Because she speaks their language of dumb jokes, they promise to take her to the bomb Mexican spot. The Mexican spot Mexicans try to keep a community secret. Then they take her to Taco Bell. So a lot of humor in this. This book was written during the pandemic, so there's a lot of ruminations on different kinds of love, you know, familial, the kinds you have to share with friends, with homies, with places, and also just kind of trying to work with all of that we were trying to deal with during the pandemic. So anyway, I'm going to go ahead and pass things off. Hopefully that was enough time to people know that we are online. Let me take a quick look. Yeah, we're live and alive here in El Paso, but right now we're going to go ahead and kick things off as we often do in Denver. And welcome once again to the show, Michael Sindler. What's up, Mike?
Hey, Richie.
Welcome back,
hey,
man.
Everybody. Great to be here. I got to say, it was really nice having you kick it off. I enjoyed that. I'd love to see you do it again. You did that for a little while, you know, way back in the early days, and you would like do your flute, and sometimes you'd do your little effects thing, sort of beatboxy, and that was always great. So yeah, it's nice having you kick things off. I'm going to go ahead and take the time to put up my thing for lighthousewriters.org, which is always worth checking out, but especially worth checking out now because LitFest is coming up in June, and there are still a few classes that are available through Zoom that are well worth taking. I know Kit's gone through and seen a lot of the just amazing people who are teaching. I'm really lucky I got into some of the ones I did. So yeah, go ahead and just check that out and see if there's not something you would just really like to go to. I'm going to read new stuff because, you know, it's the whole NaPoWriMo thing. So I have been writing a bit. I'll start off a little on the scathing side because I'm really as happy as I am that Tucker Carlson got fired. I still got loads of problems with the people who propelled him to his heights before he got thrown off of them. So this is an open letter to the GQP. You tell us it's the thought that counts. You tell us that our thoughts and prayers can solve problems, but if they can, I'm unaware of a single instance. I believe that prayer is not a ticket for a wish you think you bought. Thought counts little without the action. It's results that matter. And so inaction and dereliction and deception and excuses are of little or no uses. If your prayers and thoughts are sincere, get off your ass and off your knees, do the work that you need to do. Otherwise, we have precious little use for you. And my thing is I have absolutely very, 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 very little expectation that will actually happen. This next one's called Not Holding. Very different thing. It is not holding on to hurt, to stay connected. Bad blood boiled away long ago. Desire does not manifest in longing. The past is not a template to be followed. Moment in and of itself is a flower, fine and fair, and lasting a short season. A modest garden planted, left part wild, mildly tended. No attempt to force bud to blossom. No need to accelerate. Let each bloom at its own rate. No thorns, not holding on to hurt. Careful not to snap fragile stem. Scattered seeds shaken, planted in uncluttered bed. No salt and water that reaches roots. Fragrance floats, cannot be bottled. Breathe it in as breeze carries it along. And this one, sort of self-explanatory, and my lovely city has a habit of doing this. It's called Woke to White. I woke to white today. Remembered sometimes it snows in April. Smiled, knowing Denver remembers Prince once again. It is amazing how many years since his passing it has snowed on the day, the memorial of that. And this one is sort of, it's a little Tonka, sort of a thing. I call it no less real. They say in the end, all is dust and DNA, swept or blown away. No less real a form than ours. Everything's distilled from stars. And this one is called Tickle. Best not to leave bitter. Add sweetener if you must. Let the sour tickle. Pursed lips are ready to be kissed. And I'll go ahead and put on the hat. And I was telling Kit earlier that I'm going to, instead of my usual reading song lyrics, I'm going to go with one of the real greats. This is Mark Strand, who I just think is a fantastic poet, or was. The relatives, this poem is called The Dreadful Has Already Happened. The relatives are leaning over, staring expectantly. They moisten their lips with their tongues. I can feel them urging me on. I hold the baby in the air. Heaps of broken bottles glitter in the sun. A small band is playing old-fashioned marches. My mother is keeping time by stamping her foot. My father is kissing a woman who keeps waving to somebody else. There are palm trees. The hills are spotted with orange flamboyance, and tall, billowy clouds move beyond them. Go on, boy, I hear somebody say. Go on. I keep wondering if it will rain. The sky darkens. There's thunder. Break his legs, say one of my aunts. Now give him a kiss. I do what I'm told. The trees bend in the bleak tropical wind. The baby did not scream, but I remember that sigh when I reached inside for his tiny lungs and shook them out in the air for the flies. The relatives cheered. It was about that time I gave up. Now, when I answer the phone, his lips are in the receiver. When I sleep, his hair is gathered around a familiar face on the pillow. Wherever I search, I find his feet. He is what's left of my life. And I'm going to do one more Mark Strand poem, and I love this particular one. It's called Eating Poetry. Ink runs from the corners of my mouth. There is no happiness like mine. I have been eating poetry. The librarian does not believe what she sees. Her eyes are sad and she walks with her hands in her dress. The poems are gone. The light is dim. The dogs are on the basement stairs and coming up. Their eyeballs roll, their blonde legs burn like brush. The poor librarian begins to stamp her feet and weep. She does not understand. When I get on my knees and lick her hand, she screams. I am a new man. I snarl at her and bark. I romp with joy in the bookish dark. Thank you very much.
Awesome, Mike. Thank you so much, and thank you, as always for kicking this thing off. And it was fun. Yeah, love the Mark Strand pieces, and of course, always yours. And yeah, it's very rare where I get to kick it off. Back in the pandemic, I used to have all my instruments and toys here at my place with me, but now they're back in my studio. A little harder to play around with, but yeah, those are good memories. Maybe I'll start bringing that stuff back. We got people tuning in, by the way, so I just want to give some shout outs. People who are here right now with us. I saw Eduardo right now stopping in to say hi, as well as the homie who's going to be coming to El Paso pretty soon to become hopefully part of our scene, literary scene. He's been inquiring, so got a lot of cool places to check out. But Francisco, good to have you here as well. Let me take a look. Yeah, if you guys are here, just say hi. Good to have you guys here. I mean, Francisco, Fernando. Why did I do that? I already messed up. Fernando Antonio Montejo. He's gonna be here, guys. My bad. My YouTube froze. I'm gonna get better at that. Okay, so we're gonna keep going. In fact, we're gonna go from Denver back to El Paso. I'm in El Paso, and our next performer is in El Paso as well. She has her forthcoming third collection of poems from Mouthfeel Press. Let's go ahead and welcome back to the stage Robin Schofield. Robin, hey.
Hey, Richie. Hey, everybody. Nice to be here. Well, I'm at my house, but I mean, it's nice to be online with everybody virtually. So a little bit hard to follow Mark Strand. Thanks, Michael. So I'm going to start out with one about tumble words. And I'd like to dedicate it to Donna Snyder, our founder, who passed away last year. And tumble words is great if you're looking for a generative workshop online. We're on Zoom every Saturday at 1 o'clock Mountain Time. And this is a true story. Unlikely guy in the poetry workshop. He calls himself Twain, literary and laconic moniker, tall, even Lincoln-esque, but unkempt, hands caked with dirt as though he dug out of the grave just yesterday, smelling of it too, sending the young lesbians in black tivas into rants on their own mortality. Then he says the Etruscans had too many words for divination, haruspices and sulfur and mineral and grit, and he's weeping over his ex and her son. But what could she do when she called and his furies answered in rhyme and meter? All of us are staggered by it as he voices what voices him in two tongues, cursed and gifted, dry wit railing against the riddled world. When Donna asks, would you like to lead a workshop? He replies, sure, if I'm not in jail. That was Twain and that was Donna, open to everyone. And that's tumble words. We're open to everyone. No censorship. Okay, now I'm going to read a few, just 3 actually, and not the long opening poem out of my new book, Ridge of High Pressure. It'll be out at the end of May, and I'm already looking forward to some poetry readings at some of our open mic venues. And Yeah, I'm going to read some out of Ridge of High Pressure. This is called Upper Valley Road, Summer Sunrise. The trill of the red-winged blackbird carries over the green-smelling water as he calls for his dull brown mate who will brood away the summer. They stay in the cottonwoods, willows, and tornillo oaks here by the Rio Grande. They don't flee like the ducks and coyotes when the river goes dry in winter. When I reckon the currents together, I see that months have gone by, gone with the spring morning's minty odor of salvia, spent perfume of Spanish broom. On the road, we hear the music of the mockingbird, torn like paper in the wind, the taste of dust in my mouth and nose as the wind gusts. El Rio Bravo, home to La Garza Blanca. I would like for you to come with me under the pines and the downy white feathers that barely touch us as they drift to the ground. Yeah, the cat has retreated to her box. I had to remove her. She wants to attack my necklace and my scarf, so we can't have that. And this one is called August Rain Melancholia. Small white feathers seesaw down from the pines. The nestlings prick with new bristly feathers after the molt of their down. This generation to the next, when it's time to fledge, they'll be ready, rain or not. They fall and take flight at the same time, like a newborn idea. Under the fallen needles, I find good dirt. I move them and make a path in sand. Under the flowering oleander, the dung beetle doesn't filter what's good from what's bad. He turns it all the same. He scrabbles away from me in case my shadow be a danger. Hard to tell whether to go on a walk, half the sky sunny and half dark, half the sky silent, half muttering. I stay close to home, feeling electric. And this one is, I'll end with this one. It's called Broken Hummingbird. Sometimes it's nice to be a close observer of nature, and then sometimes you see things like this. In and out of the yard, like a whisper of rain, shiny green like the oily leaves of the creosote bush, big-eyed and fast, he would die soon after trying in vain the trumpet flowers and feeders, useless to him with his crisscrossed beak stuck in an open in a sideways V, the translucent straw of a tongue that thrust at the blooms he helicoptered at the brink of starvation, his slight frame hiding a motor that runs at 1,260 heartbeats a minute. My friends, like Job's, had many suggestions. Get a butterfly net, call an avian wildlife vet, kill him with a rock to give him an easier death. No doubt he had given out within the hour. By his feathers, a young one. He must have smashed into a mirroring window when the sun struck it just so, and his fiery nature ignited a bird made of light, fighting light, crashing into solid image, his kind of kin, destroying the self, that always other, who turned out to be no other. And Myra says hi.
You're right. There she is.
There's Myra.
About time we get to actually see her and not just hear.
Yeah, she's getting a little bigger too, it looks like.
Oh yeah, she's heavy now. She's fat.
Oh, that was such a great poem too. I always really love your desert imagery and nature poems, and that was a great take too.
All
Was
right,
that it?
thank you. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, just
All
a
right.
high pressure, a little taste.
Okay. Yeah, oh, that is so cool. Really looking for. You said you were saying possibly at the end of May.
Yeah.
Oh, like exciting news! And is there anything else you'd like to plug or promote really quick before we move on?
Oh, I can't think of anything except the Tumble Words reading next week, right? This week, this Saturday. Yes.
Yeah, it's already coming up. Yeah, definitely. Thank you so much. Glad to have you here as always. Thank you, Robin. If you guys are just tuning in and you're like never heard of it, if like this is your first time tuning in, if you're just kind of new, definitely check out Tumblewords Project, generative writing workshops every week, run by Kit Wren, who will be reading later this week, this Saturday. I'll be running it, so I'm actually going to make it to one for once. But I'm really excited to do some fun writing prompts. And the thing about Tumblewords is, if you're a writer, you just gotta write, right? So you write and then you read what you wrote. Simple as that.
May I
Um,
interrupt for a second, Richie, and say that I went to Richie's
Yeah.
workshop for the Oye group, and Richie does a mean workshop, so this one ought to be even meaner because it's for Tumblewords.
Cool. Yes, thank you so much. Yeah. What was that? Just before, yeah, in March, at the end of March, we did the Oya group. But I've got some fun ones planned for you guys this time around. You can just look up Tumblewords Project on Facebook. And of course, we are having a poetry month reading a hybrid mic. I'll let Kit talk more about that more when it comes to his turn. But right now, we're going to stick around and we're going to visit Horizon City and welcome someone who's here for their second time, a return performer, someone that was something we always love. And we're going to go ahead and bring Laura Lynette back to the stage. Laura, it's always great having you, and we're looking forward to your music. Go ahead and take it away.
Thank you, Richie. Thank you, everybody. Kind of the odd cat out here playing music, but I thought I'd do a cover and an original, a couple of songs for you. This is a song that I've always loved, and I hope you like it too. It's an old Freddie Fender tune. If he brings you happiness, then I wish you both the best. It's your happiness that matters most of all. But if he ever breaks your heart, if the teardrops ever start, I'll be there before the next teardrop falls. Si te quiere de verdad y te da felicidad, te deseo lo más bueno a los dos. Pero si te hace llorar, a mí me puedes hablar y estaré contigo cuando triste estás. I'll be there anytime you need me by your side to dry away every teardrop that you cry. And if he ever leaves you blue, just remember I love you, and I'll be there before the next year teardrop fall. 'Cause I'll be there before the next teardrop falls. I always loved that song. Thank you.
That was so beautiful.
So this is one of my earliest songs, and it's kind of a, well, it's called Paths of Memory. And it goes like this. She was only 17, had just begun to reel. She had pockets full of holes, though her soul was full of feelings. Now her time was going slow, and her spirits hit the ceiling. She turned up the radio and then commenced dreaming. And the world outside was dawning on, and cars screamed up to lights. The world within had plants and stars and windows made it bright. So bright. Well, now her spirit soon she found could stand no more confinement. Up one coast she traveled around, seeking more excitement. When the time went into space, and the space had many faces, and her head did race around, recording all the places. All the places, oh, and out in the world she talked and laughed, carried on all night, all night, oh. But back in her room was often she'd sit crying until the light, until the morning light. Now her daddy's little girl grew up too fast or something, for her head would start to whirl, wondering what was coming. And in the light she saw and encountered revelations, painted lavender and blue over the Arizona deserts. Over the desert, oh, it's all there so clear, running paths in my memory, yes, in my memory, oh, yeah, we both were there, and all the time she was inside of me, inside of me. Although the scene sometimes rough, she always made it through them, either hitching through the dust or proving her intentions were the best intentions. Oh, she'll be staying up, you know. You can't stay that high forever, and forever. She tries real hard, 'cause even when it's down, she's still saying never, 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 never give up. No, no. Pals of memory, pals of memory, pals of memory. There you go. Thank y'all.
Oh, awesome, Laura. That's so amazing. Everyone's loving it, not just here, but also on our YouTube live stream. You have music on SoundCloud, right? Is there, well, how can we support more of your music?
I do. Well, I'm working on trying to get some things out for streaming, and I have a couple of CDs. I have a CD coming out at the end of this month, and
Please let us get the info.
yeah, as soon as I have something concrete, I'll come on and post it for y'all. Thank you very much. Thanks, Richie. Thank you, everybody, for
Just
indulging
absolutely so
me.
wonderful.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you. And also, you're in Horizon. So, if you're not familiar, I gotta introduce you to some of the singer-songwriters in the area and like some of the shows that they throw on. That'd be cool.
Yes,
We
please.
definitely have
Yes.
a few. Cool.
I'll give you. I'll put my email in the chat for you. Thank you.
Perfect. Awesome. Thank you. Yeah, I was just thinking like you got to meet some of these other people like Javier Martinez and Jonathan Contreras and Emily Davis. We got some pretty nice singer songwriters in town that you can connect with. And that's just like the tip of the iceberg. There's more people. So if I didn't give you a shout out, you know, I mean you too. Okay. Like Jay's watching on YouTube. He's Bebe on YouTube. When he was in El Paso, he'd come to the open mic of Black Orchid and just blow everyone away. So I got to give you props as well. And also, since you're here, he was also giving props to you as well on the YouTube live stream, Lara. So it all comes around. It's all coming around full circle. All right, let's go and keep going. Once again, welcome everyone to the live stream. We've had more people enter the room, so I'm going to repost the list for you guys. Oh, I actually just deleted the list. Whoops. But I'm going to repost it for you guys so you guys can have an idea who's up. But we're going to go ahead and hopefully we won't catch this next person before. Yeah, there we go. So Doc is not in the house. He's still floating in space somewhere. So maybe he'll make his way onto the show. If not, that's fine. He's been here many, many times. You can catch him in any of our replays, and we'll probably catch him next week. That's Doc Jennings. He's the poet laureate of South Euclid, Ohio. But for now, let's go ahead and move on towards the list. Let's go ahead. Is he going to sing? Let's see. No. This just in his sign-up bio. It's a very distinct possibility that our next performer is only a hologram, and he is joining us from somewhere out there. As I always like to introduce him, he's our main man in Maine, but he made his way onto the show. He also runs his own show, Cafe Generalissimo, every other Monday on Zoom. I'll let him promote and talk about that and share any links for upcoming shows. But right now, let's go ahead and tune in with Generalissimo, Brian Franco. What is up, man? Welcome.
Shalom, Richie. Shalom, everyone. Yeah. So that's the first and third Monday of every month. The next Cafe Generalissimo will be on May the 1st at 5:30 p.m. Eastern, which is, I guess that's 3:30 p.m. Mountain Time. So let's go ahead and do these two poems. The first is what I wrote Saturday in Tumble Words. So it's quite prosy, and it's a little story. I think it's called Playing Monopoly with Mice. I just came up with the title. I've been shaving daily since I was 16. My Uncle Ralph gave me and my brother's top-of-the-line Norelco electric razors for high school graduation gifts. I used to be a diligent daily shaver. I never didn't shave for longer than 3 days. Sometimes if I got the flu or a little case of bronchitis, maybe a week. Beards with too much growth can get both itchy and sweaty. But after I moved to Maine in 2001 at age 35, in my first winter as a Mainer, I threw clean cut convention to the wind. Maintaining a beard is not overly easy. Deciding on a shape and keeping it trimmed properly can be harrowing, to say the least. There are beard oils and other such products to improve the wily appearance of beard hair for people like me, whose beard's texture resembles it resembles a wire hair terrier. Unfortunately, these products cause me to break out. Maintaining even sculpting is something I often fail at, so as a rule, I completely shave off my beard 2 or 3 times a year, I call it balding my face. I recently had minor routine surgery. I balded my face the day before I checked in the hospital. Recovery provided approximately 6 weeks of all types of pain and other side effects. My beard was fully ignored and never sculpted or trimmed. It became an unkempt rat's nest. I tried to occasionally comb it to no avail. Finally, close to 3 months after the day before surgery, I balded my face. I put newspaper in the sink to catch the hair. When I looked down, there was movement. A small family of mice were climbing through the hair in the sink. The father, who was wearing a very expensive looking fedora, wagged his index paw and yelled at me, "How dare you destroy our home? You'll be hearing from my lawyer." A few years back, after my Uncle Sam died, my brothers and I went to clean his home. He had been homebound due to arthritis, which we discovered after he didn't want to travel to my mother's funeral. Actually, a neighbor checked in on him and his partner who had Parkinson's every now and then. Uncle Sam was able to Uber to grocery stores and cook until it was too hard. The neighbor started cooking meals for them and stored them in the fridge. After Uncle Sam's death, we tried starting his car, but it didn't start. We opened the hood to discover several vermin nests. When the junkyard guy came to tow his SUV away, he said it probably hadn't been driven in over 2 or 3 years. Unlike my beard, the nest residents had abandoned their nest. Unfortunately, the father mouse living in my beard, who happened to come from old money, was able to hire the best human lawyer in the state of Maine. I was sued for my own home. Somehow, the time the mouse family had lived in my facial hair gave them squatters' rights to my home and potential co-ownership, despite the fact that they weren't listed on the deed and never contributed to upkeep or bills. Somehow, the fact that I was unaware a family of mice thrived in my beard ecosystem was equivocated to the adage, ignorance of the law is no excuse. We entered into mediation. The mice are very clean, sanitary people. They reside in a guest bedroom and share paying utility bills and property taxes with me. We sometimes play Monopoly marathons like my human family did when I was growing up. The mother mouse had attended the Cordon Bleu and has been giving me gourmet cooking lessons. Me and the kids play checkers and backgammon. The father has taken it upon himself to teach me chess. He humors me after every game he wins, that one day I'll whoop his ass. Of course, as a youth, he studied under a famous Russian chess master. He has warned me to never grow out my wily wire hair terrier beard again because I might think it as a rat's nest, but to a family of rats, it's a luxury home. I'm going to do one more poem, which I wrote at a workshop on Sunday. It's called If Wishes Were Kisses. I wish I would have kissed you. We were standing in your kitchen, your roommate was out of town. I don't think we ever explicitly flirted with each other, but we connected many different ways via conversations. We discussed movies and music and family. You felt like family to me. I felt so at ease with you. We met that guy from your office who lived in a huge illegally divided loft on Avenue A. We went to Mona's, a dive bar with concrete floors, a punk jukebox, and disaffected youth patrons talking loudly about how unfair life was. Next, we went to the 24-hour Polish diner just south of St. Mark's Place for pierogies. Your friend was high on something, but you said he was always that way. I think he was not happy that I showed up. Here's the thing. The way we met. We were both sitting by ourselves at a Chinese restaurant. Our tables were quite close to each other. It was my first time there. I asked if you were a regular. You were. I wasn't trying to pick you up or flirt. I believe in talking to strangers. You asked if I wanted to sit with you. You were incredibly handsome. I made sure our conversation never crossed over into flirting. We were incredibly compatible. We went to see 6 Degrees of Separation on opening night in New York City. Movie openings in the 90s. There were lines out the door and down the block. We went to see Clarence Gatemouth Brown at the bottom line with free tickets from your accounting firm. Then there was that night. Your friend stumbled back to his place. You suggested we walk to your apartment. I had met your roommate once before. This time she was out of town. We were standing in the kitchen. You said something about inhibitions. I can't quite remember what. You looked straight through me. I could feel my heart beating against my shirt. I was too nervous because I never tested the flirtatious conversational waters. We had talked on the phone quite a bit over the month we knew each other. We had never discussed anything to do with dating or past relationships. You held the door open for me with your words and stare. You were standing in your kitchen. It was my one opening with you. I decided to stand outside the door. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, man. That was like loving it. Really quick before we move on and switch off from you, how can people support and follow you online? And also if you have anything you want to plug before we move on.
Yeah, I'll just pop everything in the chat and about how you can follow me online and when my next Cafe Generalissimo is and all that, and how to buy my book. Thank you very much, Richie. And thank you, Kit. And of course, thank you, Robin, for giving us Kit, if Robin is still here.
All right. Gotcha, man. Let me see. All right, we're gonna go ahead and get back here. Let me double check the list because I totally skipped Bill. I'm so sorry, man. You know what happened is I shared the sign up sheet with Kit and he had it highlighted, so I completely missed it because it was highlighted. It was right in front of me that I missed it. I'm just kidding. I'm so sorry. It happens. Will you ever forgive me, Bill? Our next performer, though, is also joining us from El Paso, Texas. Yeah, he works with veterans to help tell their story. And he's got a little something to share. Let's go ahead and welcome HW Bill W. Sparks. Bill, how's it going? Welcome. Good to see you on this Monday.
Good. I'm going to try to get through this quick so we won't bore too many people. I'm going to start off with a cover. I don't know if you can see that or not. My El Paso hat. I was able to catch one of the last one of these books. I Am South. There were once women who made many kings by taking a mate. The tacit memory of them inhabits me like stones left to mark my way. The blood of northern tribes undeniably runs through my body. My hair is reddish and my skin pale with cinnamon flecks. But I am South. Gravity pulled me from north to south to find some truer self. South is where I learned to swallow Pablo Neruda like rum. South is where time stretches out like a bus trip in exotic lands. And South is where I can both swear and sweat in Spanish. There is antiquity here everywhere, and I have become part of it. The inscrutable past etched across desertscapes like ghost buttes. The scattered and desiccated detritus of other lives lived and other loves. And fulgent plains and circles circling out through time and space like ephemeral water. The humid kiss of desert stones. I am South. And that was in the latest book by Donna Snyder before her untimely death last year. I do talk about veterans and I pick up on things in the civilian economy as well as in the the civilian community as well as veteran community. A lot of people who don't have connections to veterans in their family don't understand post-traumatic stress awareness, post-traumatic stress month, suicide ideation awareness, battle buddy training 101. This comes from a fella from Pittsfield, Massachusetts. I correspond with him through a Warrior Writers group. And he did this the other day at a workshop, and I want to read it for him. Triathlons are better than suicide. So many veterans take that dark path. The dead veterans don't say anything, but who among us does not hear them? Across the lake, turn around and back, swimming with ghosts always next to me. Another we know died today. Again, they didn't get help. They wanted to die. The ghosts look at me, save the living, they say. Be our voice. Preach that PTSD kills. Triathlons are better than suicide. Biking with ghosts up the hills and down. Tell them about moral injury and betrayal trauma, disillusionment, self-doubt, depression, and anxiety. Tell the living not to follow after us. Triathlons are better than suicide. Running with ghosts, long miles and short ones. Of course they do not speak, but I hear them. We wanted to serve, they say, to do good, and our hearts, minds, and spirits were broken. Teach them about post-traumatic growth. Play music, get involved in the arts, exercise, and spirituality. Tell them not to give up. Don't you give up. Life is so short. Hold strong. This too shall pass. It takes time to thrive. For now, just survive. Triathlons are better than suicide. So I told him I would read that to the group here in El Paso, give an idea of some awareness of what goes on within the veteran community. And Richie, when the time comes, just zap me or do something, because I'll talk forever. I'm a Yankee by trade. I'm a Texan by choice. And if you don't know what that means, as a Yankee by trade, I talk loud, I talk fast, and God help us, I talk a lot. Okay. This is about the flag. A simple piece of cloth, pretty colors. We knew what it stood for once upon a time. Some days it flies free, a symbol of hope, a symbol of freedom, a symbol for many. Some days it flies limply. The colors are stained. Look closely at the stains in the fabric, the stain of slavery, the stain of arrogance, the stain of hypocrisy, the stain of racism. These stains persist today. The flag, a piece of cloth, pretty colors. What does it stand for today? And I have another one on the same theme. I hope you all can relate to this one. The flag. My flag, your flag, our flag. Whose flag is it really? Provide for the common defense. 50 stars crowded together. Bright white stars standing on a bright blue field. Not red stars or blue stars or purple stars. Just 50 white stars standing together, not standing apart. Rows of red and white flutter in the breeze. White for purity of spirit. Red for the blood shed for a more perfect union. Patriotic songs have been written, sung to honor the flag. Old glory, long may she wave. Books have been written on the history of the flag, the stars and stripes forever, as we pledge allegiance. What exactly does the flag stand for? After all, a flag is simply a piece of cloth. This flag was carried in war, defending a new nation, was carried in war, fighting tyranny, flag stood for peace and freedom. And what does the flag stand for today? And then this is a personal one on my half. This is an open letter. Dear, fill in the blank. My absence from your life does not mean that we are no longer friends. It is my job in the Army that has kept me away from all of your life events. I was not able to get home on vacation or write home and keep up with your accomplishments. I missed your college graduation, your marriage, your children. I was in Europe, or maybe Korea, or down in Texas when your life happened. Truly, I am sorry I was not there to share the happy times with you or stand with you during the sad times. My life has been full of good times and sad times as well. I have made many acquaintances along the way, but not real friends like you. My job has taken me around the world 1.5 times. I cannot wait to show you my pictures when we meet up and catch up, meet up again and catch up. Your friend, fill in the blank. And I want you all to think about the isms optimism, pessimism, fascism, socialism, communism, free market capitalism, journalism, Judaism, Islam, Catholicism, Hinduism, Buddhism, atheism, mysticism, liberalism, conservatism, fundamentalism, existentialism, imperialism, feudalism, elitism, libertarianism, anarchism, consumerism, hedonism, escapism, feminism, secular humanism, pacifism, Americanism, American exceptionalism, patriotism, baptism, heroism, racism, sexism, terrorism, extremism, nationalism, militarism, criticism, fanaticism, intellectualism, stoicism, anachronism, despotism, realism, plagiarism, volunteerism, witticism. How many isms control your life? And with that, Mr. Chairman, I yield back the remainder of my time.
Oh, I love that unique
the way
feature of your sets.
Yeah, the way you grouped those made them so much more than just a list. That was really well done.
I love it. Thank you, Bill. Appreciate you, and we'll see you on Saturday. Got some stuff going on for Tumblewords. More on that later. But right now, once again, everyone, welcome to our online open mic. We do this every Monday. We affectionately call it the stay-at-home open mic. And yeah, if you guys ever want to be part of this, usually there's room on the list like there is tonight. And there is a sign up in the description. So we're going to go ahead and keep moving along. Also, we do have, I think, 200 plus. At this point, it's definitely a lot more. We have almost 3 whole years of episodes that you can go and check, archives that are easier to get through because of Kit, who has gone by and left timestamps. Yeah, about 150. All right. Cool. All right, we're going to go ahead and let me take a look at our next performer. As always, they leave something fun for me to read in the chat. So this is what they wrote in the bio. I am the terror that flaps in the night. I am the disgusting pimple popper commercial that interrupts your favorite YouTube videos. I am Darkwing Duck. Let's get dangerous. Joining us from Wayne Manor, introducing the new school mime, well, poetry. Let's go ahead and welcome Finn Bell in the house. And I appreciate
I have
always,
way
the
too much
unique-
fun. Way too much
I
fun.
love it.
Thank you. I just like to give you a smile every Monday. Hopefully you enjoy it. Okay, so I am luckily feeling a little better after Benadryl. Not feeling so well today, but feeling a little better. A few days ago, or last week actually, Chanson Bird led a workshop for me. It was haiku and you. So I got quite a few haikus out of it. The first prompt he did was writing about something that you observed that you found fascinating. So here they are. Kettle shimmies, its sweat beads aromatic, happy, sweet business. Words pass between lips, tell you of my affection. I try not to blush. Blood pools on finger. We press our thumbs together, kindred till the end. Then he said, write an encouraging note to your 16-year-old self. Wildflower body, blooms in winter's sharp, cold kiss. Shies from spring's. Okay, let me do that again. Wildflower body, blooms in winter's sharp, cold kiss. Shies from spring's rain gaze, spring rain's gaze. Letter to shy lass, life does not get easier. You just grow so fierce. Write a eulogy to your favorite pet. This one was hard to do. Write a eulogy to your favorite pet. Puppy of my heart, I touch your urn as I pray. I am still mourning. Eyes of twin sunsets, I dare anyone to say you are not handsome. Velvet rosette ears, turned at the sound of your name, still set on sulking. And I think finally, there's 2 more. Write about a time when you had to be vulnerable. 3 innocent words can leave a stinging feeling when they are rebuffed. I was a young mom. I learned as I went along, still making mistakes. Aging gracefully is difficult to do well when life youth abounds. And then finally, he said to write a love note to your 5-year-old self. Clever baby girl, that voracious love for books will bring you the world. Wee tadpole princess, knee deep in mud pie magic, dreams bake in the sun. And then finally, your skin is not white. This does not make you lesser. Brown skin holds stories. Next poem is a brand new poem I made yesterday. Yeah, 2 days ago. It's called Shutters Ajar. There is a stillness overtaking my soul before mind chooses thought, mouth recognizes voice, before body is rest from womb of blanket, center of being thrust outside of self. Doubt will not lift me up by corpse torpid limbs. I give up seconds later. The sun brings a flare, pinprick points of light, stabbing slabs of fleshy eyelid. They squeeze into each other to secure dreams behind their connective tissue and melt into cornea protected. Anxiety never learned subtlety in her approach, prizes my entirety splayed open through those telling windows. Someone said these windows show your soul to the world. Red light peep show. Exhibitionist psyche. Lock your windows tight when the nighttime tells you she will fall. And then finally, wanted to share a cover poem. So this is by Craig Arnold. It's called Bird Understander. Of many reasons, I love you, here is one. The way you write me from the gate at the airport, so I can tell you everything will be all right. So you can tell me there is a bird trapped in the terminal, all the people ignoring it because they do not know what to do with it, except to leave it alone until it scares itself to death. It makes you terribly sad. You wish you could take the bird outside and set it free, or failing that, call a bird understander to come help the bird. All you can do is notice the bird and feel for the bird and write to tell me how language feels impossibly useless. But you are wrong. You are a bird understander, better than I could ever be, who makes so many noises and call them song. These are your own words, your way of noticing and saying plainly, of not turning away from hurt. You have offered them to me. I'm only giving them back. If only I could show you how very useless they are not. Thank you.
All right, Finn Bell, everyone in the crowd went wild. Yeah. Oh man, the virtual crowd is loving it. They're snapping, they're clapping, they're jumping in their boxes. Finn Bell, how can we? You got some awesome descriptors right there under your name: Mad Poet, Fincabulary Woman, co-director of PGN. How can people hit you up as well and support your work online?
I am on everything. Its entirety is on Linktree, that you can find me on all my social media and everything I'm doing, and other open mics in our community that I attend and I recommend. That's on Linktree/Finn Bell. This week caps off my series of poetry games for Poetry Month. We are ending with Frankenstein's Creations on Thursday, which is a Nick Paleologos workshop. I love that title. And then this Tuesday is my monthly karaoke night for my platform Fincabulary. And the theme is sexy lyrics. So please come on through. That's it for me. Yeah.
Oh, I love it. I love it. Thank you so much, Finbell, everyone. Go check those things out. And if you have any links, I love the concept of like sexy lyrics with doing a little dance like this, you know? Sexy lyrics. Yeah, that's one of my go-tos is the screen wave. Yeah. Love Nick. Looking forward to that as that's pretty fun sounding. By the way, the coffee's hitting. I love it. All right, let's go ahead and continue on. Let's see. Oh, yes, we're gonna stop by in Charlotte and visit our friend Nemo Sum. I see you there in your little
Hey.
rectangle. Nemo, how you doing today? Welcome, welcome.
I'm doing well. Doing well.
All
Thank
right.
you. I've got two poems. First one is called Fell Geometry. I observed two flights, one red, one black. As we raced down countless miles, two cardinals crossed the highway just in front of the car, just in front of us. Were these rivals chasing one another, or brothers, or lovers intertwined, swooping low and showing off just a little? My mind saw the fell geometry, and then everything was on rails, and life was reduced to distance and speed. For just a moment, the first bird was lost in the massive black of the car in front of us. I felt relief in watching it explode in a massive, brilliant red, knowing that's what's supposed to happen when nature meets steel, the end of its trajectory. But I wondered as we sped away what the second bird was feeling right now. Running on a nature trail the following day, I observed two butterflies, black, darting together in a circle in front of me, fighting or courting against the blue of the afternoon. For the better part of a minute, our paths lined up, and I prepared to witness a tiny but violent explosion of black against my bright red shirt. But our lines did not meet, and they danced on unaware as I sped away and wondered what it felt like to be crushed mid-flight. And this piece is called Red Sky. The sky is red, but it isn't burning, isn't hot. And now it's full of the leather-winged heralds of hopelessness, who have screens for faces, ever broadcasting the message of their masters that something once had is lost, or at least it's fading fast. The wicked winds of change are blowing, and I am alone, driving away from the city, yellow lights blinking on and off and onto empty roads, and how fast I'm going doesn't matter, because there's no reason to stop, no reason for these tears, hands gripping the steering wheel, too tired to brush away the exhaustion that creeps up my shoulders to my neck, exhaustion that is going to crawl into my ear canal and make a painful passage to my brain. Maybe it's sulfur I smell, or maybe that's my dinner riding beside me as my senseless passenger, handed to me in a bag by another lost soul stranded in a colorful building with only the company of strangers out the window. But we didn't make eye contact for fear of seeing one another's broken heart. Now the sky is black, and my eyelids do nothing to block the sting of the taillights and stoplights. Out in front of me, I can feel the tower, metal fingers reaching up to reopen the wound in the belly of the beast we call the sky. And the blood looks like light shining up into clouds hanging low, instead of souls raining down. For I have been in that tower, watched the goods divided, portioned out with clumsy cuts to be packed in shipping crates, bound for the money men who would never deign to be seen by eyes so unworthy and faces black with soot. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Nemo. Appreciate you. I love your work. I don't think I've heard it before, man.
Yeah,
But
I
lots
think
of
it's my
praise.
first time here. Yeah.
You fit right in, and it's just like, yeah, Nemo, you're up. But yeah, welcome. Good to have you. A lot of people were speaking so nicely of you before you got here, you know. So
Oh.
how can people like checking you out on the live stream support and follow you online?
You can find me on Instagram, Nemo_Sum_words. And then you can find my website, which actually has all my social media links as well, is nemosumwords.com. You can also get my first book. You can download a digital version of my first book for free if you'd like to.
That is amazing. Thank you. And just want to say you're welcome here anytime. You know, you got some time to kill. I know it's a little later for you, but if you're a little restless, insomniac, hey man, we got room for you always.
I haven't quite turned into a pumpkin yet.
Alrighty then. Thanks for sticking around and I hope to see more
lot.
of you. And I apologize. I said some earlier. It's sum. So next time I will add that.
We haven't heard Latin in 2,000 years, so we don't know if it's actually sum or sum. Yeah.
Good point. Good point. Also, Fernando on YouTube was giving you props on your t-shirt. He says you have your t-shirt's badass. So I wanted to add that as well. Yeah, shout out to everyone on YouTube right now. Peace. Thanks for tuning in with us. We're glad you're here. So we're gonna go ahead and keep the show going. Welcome everyone to our online show. Next up, we have someone who has been here for every single show. Yes, including the unaired pilot, the one that we never went live with. We were just trying it out to see if this is something we could do. And thankfully, years later and over 150 episodes in, we have decided to keep going. So he's been here for every single one of those. You guys already know him as Mr. Monday Night, the man of many names, including BWOMS Bouncer. He is going to also fill you in on Tumbleword stuff. Let's go ahead and welcome to the show, Kit Red, everyone, Mr. Monday Night. What's up, man?
What's up, Richie? Been a great night. Been a cool night. Nemo's come to Tumblewars about 2 or 3 times. I was really thankful for the chance to hear, like, he was already good off the cuff, so I was very happy to hear what he had time to polish. This was a really cool experience, as every single Monday night has been. Even the nights where it got really weird. I mean, that's a good story, right? Anyway, 3 of mine, and can't decide between 2 covers, so I'll flip a coin. But 3 of mine first. I am changing all of my drafted memoirs back into poems because too many of you know my business. I want the ritual of public confession, but I don't want you to know what I did. I am much more comfortable answering what does this mean than what happened next. I want this poem to rise from the ground like a monolith, not between us, but beside us, and for us to circle around it, inspecting for the flaws that I have mistaken for nuance and character. This one, gonna dust off a classic for you. This is in Burial Panther Volume 3, called The Zeragoal Rejects the World at Large. I have a confession disguised as a question. Has the desert spoiled all other outdoor settings for you too? Do forests seem to you a claustrophobic compromise between the indoors and the outdoors, unsatisfying, as most compromises are? How can this actually be outside if I can't see the entire sky? Does the ocean seem showy and excessive, gaudy like plastic jewelry on an otherwise fine hand? To have all this undrinkable water feels like someone made a mistake but didn't care enough to correct it. We are a dry land, but what we find is potable. Did the hill country underwhelm you too? Were you tempted to laugh at all the hill people who went around instead of over and through? They would think us mad, but I'll never make the mistake of caring what they think again. Does every green field, no matter how wild, take on the manicured unreality of a golf course? I am tired, friend, of this world of driving ranges. You and I will spread our picnic blanket in the sand trap and throw back every Titleist that blunders in. And another short one. This one, gonna drop a name here. I wrote this in a workshop with the great Kim Adenizio last year. It's the Ode to the Hangover. We are so quick to appeal to the conscience and tell the ones who would cleave us apart that history will judge them. Yet we live in fear of the only physiological proof of this. Why? You, hangover, are the only one who knows what really happened. I trust only your account, not any texts, nor any photography. No headache yet has ever told me a lie. Hangover, inerrant morning judge, I surrender without condition to the mercy of your court. All the things that quote unquote cure you are things I should be doing anyway. As if Jiminy Cricket himself jumped into the mescal, you will reveal all the lessons learned and forgotten. And in the morning's, afternoon's light, I will find the clarity that other drinkers drink to avoid. Okay. Heads means an American poem by Eileen Myers. So bear with me for this. For the new folks, I like to encourage people to do the cover poem, where we claim the rights of musicians to pay tributes to our forebears as well. An American poem by Eileen Myers. In the course of reading this poem, I'm going to make claims about identity that don't necessarily apply to me. You can figure it out. You're an adult. I was born in Boston in 1949. I never wanted this fact to be known. In fact, I spent the better half of my adult life trying to sweep my early years under the carpet and have a life that was clearly just mine and independent of the historic fate of my family. Can you imagine what it was like to be one of them? To talk like them, to have the benefits of being born into such a wealthy and powerful American family? I went to the best schools, had all kinds of tutors and trainers, traveled widely, met the famous, the controversial, and the not so admirable. And I knew from a very early age that if there were any possibility ever of escaping the collective fate of this famous Boston family, I would take that route. And I have. I hopped on an Amtrak to New York in the early 70s, and I guess you could say my hidden years began. I thought, well, I'll be a poet. What could be more foolish and obscure? I became a lesbian. Every woman in my family looks like a dyke, but it's really stepping off the flag when you become one. While holding this ignominious pose, I have seen and I have learned, and I am beginning to think there is no escaping history. A woman I am currently having an affair with said, "You know, you look like a Kennedy." I felt the blood rising in my cheeks. People have always laughed at my Boston accent, confusing large for large, party for potty. But when this unsuspecting woman invoked for the first time my family name, I knew the jig was up. Yes, I am a Kennedy. My attempts to remain obscure have not served me well. Starting as a humble poet, I quickly climbed to the top of my profession, assuming a position of leadership and honor. It is right that a woman should call me out now. Yes, I am a Kennedy, and I await your orders. You are the new Americans. The homeless are wandering the streets of our nation's greatest city. Homeless men with AIDS are among them. Is that right? that there are no homes for the homeless, that there is no free medical help for these men and women, that they get the message as they are dying that this is not their home. And how are your teeth today? Can you afford to fix them? How high is your rent? If art is the highest and most honest form of communication of our times, and the young artist is no longer able to move here, to speak to her time, well, yes, I could. That was 15 years ago. And remember, as I must, I am a Kennedy. Shouldn't we all be Kennedys? This nation's greatest city is home of the businessman and home of the rich artist, people with beautiful teeth who are not on the streets. What shall we do about this dilemma? Listen, I have been educated. I have learned about Western civilization. Do you know what the message of Western civilization is? I am alone. Am I alone tonight? I don't think so. Am I the only one with bleeding gums tonight? Am I the only homosexual in this room tonight? Am I the only one whose friends have died, are dying now? And my art can't be supported until it is gigantic, until it is bigger than everyone else's, confirming the audience's feeling that they are alone, that they alone are good, deserved to buy the tickets to see this art, are working, are healthy, should survive, and are normal. Are you normal tonight? Everyone here, are we all normal? It is not normal for me to be a Kennedy, but I am no longer ashamed, no longer alone. I am not alone because tonight we are all Kennedys, and I am your president.
Yeah, right on, Kit.
I have to say good night, folks. Thank you for having me. We'll see you again soon.
Oh, great to hear you again, Mara.
Such an incredible pleasure, and really look forward to you coming back.
Thank you.
Please
Well,
do.
have a great
Yeah,
rest of your
we
night.
look forward to you coming back too, Kit.
Peace and love. That was fantastic, Kit. Everybody's fantastic. Thank you.
Before we descend into anarchy, IG at Kit Ran Away, Twitter at Kit Talk Sports, for however long Twitter's lasting. The sand's creeping through the hourglass over there. You can find me on Goodreads, where you'll learn what I think about modern literature. I think it's good. It's really good. Keep working at it. Kofi.com/KitRen. A lot of essays about football with tenuous artistic connections. Find me on Facebook easy enough. You can send me an email. You can drop something in the tip jar via PayPal. And I am, as has been mentioned several times through tonight, the director of the Tumblewords Project. And we have action-packed. We're going to close the week with a bang, because your friend and mine, the hardest working man on the border, Richie Marrufo, will be leading our session this Saturday at 1 o'clock. It'll be a great time for everyone. And that evening, we're going to do something pretty ambitious that we haven't tried before, but we're going to have a hybrid reading. If you're in the El Paso area, we'll be gathered at Genuine Reference Studios. And if you're not in El Paso, you can join us on Zoom in the usual fashion. And we will have a hybrid reading in celebration of Poetry Month, in celebration of Tumblewords, in its 28th year, in its first year AD after Donna. And hopefully we'll have many more years like this. Okay, well, I'll hand the talking stick back to Richie. Thank you, everyone.
All right, awesome. Appreciate you, Kit. Thank you so much. Looking forward to that. Let's go ahead and keep the night going. Dramatic Glasses riff off. Next up, Our next performer has got some jokes and poems, some ha-has and some rah-rahs. That's right. You down with Eddie P? You know me. Let's go ahead and welcome to the stage, Mr. Ed Poetastic. What is up, Ed?
Thank
How
you.
you doing,
What
my
is
friend?
Oh, my friend to the very end. I love your blend. Today's my birthday. Woohoo! Happy birthday to me. Woo!
Really?
Yeah, really.
Oh man, I had no idea. Happy birthday, Ed. Oh,
Happy birthday, Ed.
Thank you.
yeah.
Thank you. Thank you. I
Yeah.
love each and every one of you. That's why I want to spend it with all of you. Thank you so much. I am touched. And thanks again. Thanks a bunch. But we need to keep rolling so we won't stop boiling. My name is Ed Potastic, fan of Fantastic. Please get a time to go join my rhyme for Sublime. I got 6 jokes and 3 poems. The first joke is why was Pinocchio a bad poker player? He was too nosy. Why did the squirrel quit his job at the peanut factory? It was driving him nuts. Why was the clown a great fighter? He delivered a great punchline. Nobody saw it coming. What do you call a flying horse? A horsefly. What do you call a bat on a diet? A fruit fly. I mean, a fruit bat. I'm sorry. And last but not least, why did Humpty Dumpty left the comedy club? It cracked him up. All right. I hope everyone enjoyed that. This is called Poetic Symphony. No, Symphony of Poetry, I'm sorry. Poetry is livelier than a sunflower or rose, while any explanation or logic goes. The sweet symphony of pure creativity, so appreciate the effects and the sensitivity. Sharp words fire straight to the heart, rain down through skies of vivid art. Each word covered in emotion, like fishes dancing in a clear ocean, seated in a bouquet of colorful flowers, blossoming in a magnificent array of power. Writing and reading like dancing and singing, the parade of words is only the beginning. Notebooks teleport us into a literary world, pages jumping off insightful and lifeless spirals. Shared by concrete or imaginative minds, lessons grow in very personal design. The pleasure of constant desirable writing, patterns of free verse, limerick, haiku, or rhyming. Reinventing tales of new, personal, and old, conjuring them to shine like luminous gold. Oh, poetry, you allure me with your verbal melody, ears full of worldly fireworks, a complete harmony. The lines sewn in this ugly yet beautiful universe, flowing words of true verse, going straight on course. Please downpour us a radiant sight of weather, shower us till we're redder or feel even better. Thank you. And this is called Academic Days. I woke up early, trying to catch the cheese bus, eating a PJ until they turned to dust. Packing a cold woohoo was a plus. Man, it looked like a gloomy gust. I waited outside until the clock hit 7. I was praying for the clock to hit 11. Everyone knew that lunch was heaven, a little bite of fuel for this depression. I rushed towards my cramped locker. I'm stuffing my book bag like a mad shopper, as quickly and quietly as a robber. The first class was always a whopper. My pencils and pens danced on bleached papers, pink erasers slowly disappearing into vapor. I was writing, then rewriting to feel much safer. The angry writer, then the raging greater. Listen to 80s or 90s hits. Man, the iPod was something sick. My ears feeling the musical bliss. The lyrics seemed to always stick. My music was too loud. I was singing like a joyful clown. It appeared I'd drawn the attention of a curious crowd. Snatch, off goes my whimsical crown. I grabbed the lunch tray. A familiar face asked if I wanted to play. I said PSP all day, every day. PSP was turned on and ready to slay. School was finally over. Time to hang out with friends. I love the familiar exposure. I wish the good times didn't end. Woke up late. Too bad time can't wait. Darn this unmovable gate. I'm waiting to hear the principal's debate. I had to report to detention. It was to reflect on my uncontrolled situation. It was a solo hour of self-reflection. It was everything but sweet satisfaction. I bumped into the girl I like. She was a sight to my candlelight. I tried with all my might. She was a day where I was the night. Before I knew it, I graduated. No more one-side debates. No more school. I couldn't wait. I thought things would be easy as cake. Enrolled in college. Oh boy, the complex cottage. Everyone was stressed and on edge. It felt like staring off at a vast ledge. I wanted to quickly escape. All this paperwork, I'll go ape. All of these loans made me cry lakes. Come on, give me a freaking break. The priors were a huge blast. They last a little longer if you had cash. The happy times gone so fast. It was talk, then play, then drink, then crash. My migraines were having heart attacks. The pressure coming in millions of stacks. Persistently studying, trying to keep track. Studying, watching everything fade to black. My conclusion is you will always need school. I know it's not cool being used as a tool. You need to be smart, not to be a fool. Please keep swimming deeper in the academic pool. Thank you. And I got the fight isn't over. Here you go. Sorry about that. The fight isn't over. There's still air in your lungs. The fight isn't over. There's still blood in your veins. The fight isn't over. There's still steel in your bones. The fight isn't over. There's still light in the darkness. The fight isn't over. There's still days for your tomorrows. The fight isn't over. There's still life in the abyss. The fight isn't over. There's still time in your hourglass. The fight isn't over. There's still fire in your heart. The fight isn't over. There's still water in your eyes. The fight isn't over. There's still wind beneath your legs. The fight isn't over. There's still stone in your fist. The fight isn't over. There's still doors in your horizons. The fight isn't over. There's still gales in your mind. The fight isn't over. There's still a moon in your night. The fight isn't over. There's still dreams in your river. The fight isn't over. There's still a sun in your atmosphere. The fight isn't over. There's still clouds in your skies. The fight is never over. Thank you.
Awesome, man. Thank you so much. As always, coming through with the jokes and the poems and miles of smiles. Ed, how can people support and follow you online?
You can support me by following me online. You can come to this wonderful open mic that makes our Monday night such a delight in the wonderful musical spotlight. All right. But you want to follow me, please feel free. My Facebook is Eddie Foreman and my IG is Eddie from 92. And remember, the mic is right. I'll be there to shine protesting insight. If you send me a question, we take guests. The answer is yes. Help everyone stay healthy, safe, and blessed. And never stop spewing the wonderful words outside your chest. And never stop feeling and doing your best. And I'm glad I can spend my happy birthday with you. Thank you for making me feel every color but blue, and keep on pushing through. And remember that I love each and every one of you.
Yeah, Ed, happy birthday, man. Glad you're here with us. If I could email you a birthday cake so you could download, I would. Man, maybe we could just Uber something to you. But hopefully
those ice cream cakes.
So it can melt on the delivery. No, that'd be great. Hey, let us know what you want. Maybe we can make something happen. You know what I'm saying, Ed?
I still eat it.
Thank you so much. You'll drink it like a soup. Melted. No, man, it's great having you. Stick around a little bit for the after party. For for the uninitiated, once we finish our live streaming show, we do keep the Zoom room open as a place to chat, to ask questions, and mostly vent. Yeah, a lot of venting going on, but it just a little hangout spot. It was definitely more relevant during the height of the pandemic and when all of us were here, but we still hang out, and that's the thing. So if you guys are, or maybe like shy and don't want to read, then, you can join us for the after party as well. We've also had people who don't want to read during the live stream, but like want to share work to us afterwards. So if that sounds like you're more than welcome to join us. By the way, if you are listening and watching and you're here for extra credit from EPCC or for the Tejano Passport QR code, let me know in the chat, in the comments, and I will let you know how to follow that or how to access that information. I am monitoring the live chat, so let us know. Yes, thanks for everyone tuning in. We had Steffi tune in. Good to see you. Oh, and Julian. Yes, I think that's you, right? Going blind, enjoying life. Julian read last Wednesday at our mic, and and also at past BWOMS shows as well. So it's always great having you. Check it out as well. Next up is a pen name. I'm gonna stall a little bit to let Dan know that he's gonna be after me. But next up is Ignacio G. Bombalicious. That's my name that I just made up right now. But since I started off the show with some cover poems, and I didn't even share any of my own, I'm going to go ahead and read a couple of mine. Also, Fernando, thank you for tuning in. This is a poem that I wrote once upon a time, hanging out in a bookstore with fellow poet Patty, and she pointed the camera at me and made me freestyle something. So since it was recorded, I wrote a little bit. It's short. Poets in bookstores are kids in candy shops looking for a sweet fix in confectionery constellations. This place is our kingdom, nestled between mind and the heart, bricks upon bricks in this castle of knowledge. All right, that was a quick one. This is another one I wrote. One of the things that if you've ever been in the poetry slam scene, one thing that I really appreciate and I think that is unique is the team poem, the group poem. Back in the day in the slam scene, I somehow had some really cool partners for group poems. We haven't done a whole lot of that in El Paso just because we don't have too strong of a poetry slam scene, but I see more poets and more readings. So hopefully in the future, we can start doing more of that stuff again. But I love the group poem. So this is something I wrote with a roommate of mine the night before going to Albuquerque for the Southwest Shootout, a really big poetry meetup. And we killed it. I think we got like the highest score that round with some killers in that crowd. But this is called Shenanigans. And yes, I'm going to read a group poem as one person. Hey. All right. One word, 4 syllables, shenanigans. Because if actions speak louder than words, then shenanigans are screamed from the tops of mountains and annihilate what we used to know as truth. Some people say our lives are dictated by fate, but with little shenanigans, you can take control of your life. Shenanigans build character. You can't buy personality, and personally pronouns are profound when I and I are pronounced as we, because who we be is free. We manage mischief in places of obscure origins, like America. We appreciate the finer things in life, but sometimes you just want to break shit. We are Coyote, the anti-hero of our grandmother's stories, trickster. We know shenanigans well. They kept me sane during those hard times when I was eating microwave splintered weenies in a tortilla and ramen every day because that's all there was in my kitchen besides cucas. Staying up late, sleeping past noon, beer for breakfast, and doing it all over again. The unemployed shenanigans, the looking for your next fix shenanigans, shenanigans, because a little chaos is fun and good for the soul, especially when raunchy debauchery becomes a welcomed occurrence. Like that time in your own wait, we don't talk about that one. Shenanigans is the sound of rusty chainsaws being juggled. Shenanigans is freedom. Be free to make mistakes and announce your love to that one person or two, or hey, whatever makes your plane soar. Shenanigans is the number you call after 2 a.m. We've been down and out because of shenanigans, left to pontificate, perhaps even evacuate these words that we masticate all over the sidewalk. If there isn't a threat of being arrested, you're doing it wrong. It is the zenith of xenified bohemian behaviors etched into the secret passageways of underground cities. It can't stop, won't stop, and it goes like shenanigans reminds me of revolution. You see, the Arab Spring, Mexico 68, the civil rights movement, these wouldn't exist without the desire for shenanigans. So take some time and upset the balance of the universe. Quantum physics dictates that you are allowed to make a myriad of choices, shake some atoms, and unravel what you thought was impossible. Because it's like they say, Rome wasn't built in a fuck it, let's do it anyway. Shenanigans. All right, so that's an older piece that was kind of harder to read as one person. It was a team piece, so we kind of bounced a lot of those ideas off of each other and rhythm. So this is the last one I'm going to read. I was just invited to perform my poetry at a mental health event in May by the Lizard King. If you've been here before, you've met the Lizard King, Chauncey, and a couple other poets. And so this is one of my mental health pieces. It's called Ever Patient Skywatcher, and I wrote it during the pandemic. Inspiration, I've seen you through the clouds, amongst the people and in the crowds. Last night, the stars sang to me, blanketed me in threads of light, in the eons and the chaos of eons and eons beyond that space of understanding, standing under, over, in, on, at, around, and within. Call me ever patient skywatcher. I have learned to assign moments under the stars as a paradigm for understanding. Last night, the stars sang to me, a luminescent loom in essence, taught me that inspiration doesn't just live in timelines, holds no expiration dates, but dares to exist like a spark through the darkness, waiting to be ignited. Shh. If you listen closely, you can hear it. We're talking relevance and retrospect, hence our introspective perspectives may come to be respected, grows in the infinite minute by minute like lit wick as hands slick, tick, click. Tolerance to the entropy of existence has dictated it must be. Mira, manifest this tequila into discarded coffee cups, because the usefulness of a cup is in its emptiness. That is its own kind of magic. It persists, it perseveres, it runs on and on and on into spray paint sizzle of midnight mist. It's flora y fauna, aloe vera y la verdad. Moon, magnificent, mystifies, entangles my heart in her moonbeams. There's something about taking moments to sit down and reflect, to quiet things down and listen to the slowing down of your very own breath, to place your hand on your chest and feel your theme music, that steady bass line pumping life force, while the night breeze paints the air around you like the moon greets me like an old friend, and here I am. Aquí estoy, finger on the pulse of a moment, ear to the rhythm of this mixtape music. Wind in hair, eyes closed. The world takes a breath and I feel the cry. The world is hurting and I'm trying my best. And I realize that sometimes my best has to be better. It is a cascade of thoughts swirling into the abyss, stretched and pulled to the sound of be better, 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 be. The sound, the thought mimics the musicality of black holes. It repeats and repeats. It gains steam. It grows momentum, claims more land. It snakes throughout the cities in my head. Synapses sparking, smoking, revealing that we still can't stop a moving train of thought like tick, 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 bloom. All right. And that is the end of the piece ever, Patient Skywatcher. That was some therapy for me while writing it. Yeah, but I'm still kind of still trying to work on the musicality of that piece because that's a huge part of it as well. But this has been an amazing night. Thanks to everyone who has signed up. We did have a couple of people bow out, so much love. I hope everything's good with them, and hopefully we get to see them next week. Right now, as we often do, we're going to go ahead and pass things around. If this were a baseball game, ninth inning, bases loaded, we're in a jam. It's time to call in the closer, the right-hander. It is the one, the only Dan, the man, Wild Thing. You make my heart sing. Dan, go ahead and take it away. Do your thing. Uh-oh, your sound is weird again.
I know everything's everything. Yeah, okay. All right, how's everybody doing tonight? Yeah, it's been more than 3 years now since we started the stay-at-home open mic every single Monday. And yeah, Richie, Kit, and I, we were there since the very beginning, and we were still there all Monday long. Yep. So yep, we're still here. Yep. Never fear. And we're still in the Latimer. Yep. And where's the Shakespeare? Where's Shakespeare? Yep. We're talking about that. And next year's the leap year. Yep. Something with a bit of a cashmere. We're not all clear, but it seems to appear. Just listen here and not to interfere, loud and clear. And that's why poetry is to volunteer. Man, yeah, so it's been 3 long years. Man, time's been flying by. And oh yeah, happy birthday to our brother from another mother, one way or another. Yeah, Ed Potastic, how fantastic. Yeah, well, Mr. Boombastic. happy birthday, Ed. All right, so and yeah, and we always do. Yeah, since this is be our last Monday of the National Poetry Month. Yep, we still have the rhyming dictionaries. Yep, we still have it, and yep. And speaking of poetry, I got five pieces from Mary Oliver of Swans. You guys are gonna like this one. You're very welcome, Ed. Okay, here we go. Okay, April, page 26. All right. April, I want to speak at length about the happiness of my body and the delight of my mind, for it was April night, a full moon, and but something in myself, or maybe from somewhere, others said, not too many words, please. In the muddy shallows, frogs are singing. Unquote. Okay. The poet dreams of the classroom, page 21. I dreamed I stood up in class and I said, "Teacher, why is algebra important?" "Sit down," he said. Then I dreamed. I stood up and I said, "Teacher, I'm weary of the turkeys and we have to draw every fall. And may I draw a fox instead?" "Sit down," he said. Then I dreamed. I stood up once more and I said, "Teacher, my heart is falling asleep and it wants to wake up. It needs to be outside." "Sit down," he said. Weird. Okay, hold on one second. Okay. The Poet Dreams of the Mountains, page 31. Okay. Sometimes I grow weary of the days with all their fits and stares and starts. I want to climb some old gray mountain slowly, taking the rest of my life. To do it, resting, often sleeping under the pines or above them on the uncloth rocks. I want to see how many stars are still in the sky that we have smothered for years now, a century at least. I want to look back at everything, forgiving it all, and peaceful, now knowing the last thing there is to know. All that urgency. Now, what the earth is about. How silent the trees, their poetry being of themselves only. I want to take slow steps think appropriate thoughts. In 10,000 years, maybe a piece of the mountain we will fall. All right. What's that? Whisper poem, page 54. I have been risky in my endeavors. I have been steadfast in my loves. Sorry. Oh Lord, consider these when you judge me. Okay. All right, last one. The poet is told to fill up more pages. Page 55. But where are the words? Not in my pocket, not in the refrigerator, not in my savings account. So I sit harassed with my notebook. It's a joke, really, not a good one. For fun, I try a few commands myself. I say to the rain, "Stop raining." I say to the sun, "That isn't anywhere nearby. Come back and come fast." Nothing happened. So this is all I can give you. Not being the maker of what I do, but only the one that holds the pencil. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S, T, U, V, W, X, Y, Z. All the alphabets. Make of it what you will. Yeah. Ramazing poetry. Mary Oliver, Swan. Nice. Okay. And I'll read real quick the words of love, Piropos, romantic sayings from Mexico. Let's see here. Let's see what we got. Okay. Yeah, I said that. Okay. El corazón no envejece, envejece, el cuero es el que se arruga. The heart does not age. It's the flesh that wrinkles. En el amor solo hay dos situaciones. Persigue uno a una mujer o trata de librarse de ella. There are only two situations in love: chasing after a woman or trying to escape from one. Mhm. Okay, let's see. Okay. Soy como el chili verde, mi reina, picante pero sabroso. I like green chili, my queen, spicy but very tasty. Okay. Here's one more. Para el amor verdadero no existen dificultades. Okay, let me try this again. Dificultades. I was that right. True love overcomes all hardships. Okay. All right. Yeah. Words of love, piropos, romantic sayings from Mexico. I guess probably I'll have it done before this Cinco de Mayo. So yeah. So once again, piropos, romantic sayings from Mexico. You know, I still need to read Patty Orozco's book. I still need to read Lee's book. I still need to read Khan's book. I still need to read Terry's book. Still need to read Robin's book. Most importantly, but there's only one book I still most like to read for this month of poetry month. Donna. Well, that'll be nice. So God rest your soul. So, wow, it's been one heck of a month for National Poetry Month. Thank you. Richie.
You rang. What's up, Dan? Uh-huh.
Thank you.
Be kind to your phone. For the uninitiated, this is the part of the show where Dan scrolls through his photos looking for a picture of his business card. So, narration. Yo, it's all good, Dan. So that was all the info. I'm sure you were saying read it and weep it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. There, now we can hear you. Well, thank you, Dan, for joining us once again.
Yeah. Happy National Poetry Month and happy birthday, Ed. And yeah, next Monday, once again. Child's Calendar by John Uptek for May.
Be ready.
All right. Have a good night, everybody. All right. Okay, Richie, let's call it a night.
No. All right. Sorry. My impulse is just to say no to that. I'm so sorry. Like, no, we're gonna filibuster this thing. No, I want to thank everyone that was joining us today, who performed, who were on the YouTube channel. We do have a lot of in-person events. So if you are in the El Paso area, please visit us. We have events at different parts of the week, but the party is definitely not over. As I mentioned earlier in the show, once the live stream ends, we still hang out on the Zoom call for whoever wants to hang out, chat chop it up, updates, share new work, all that good stuff. But as always, we'll be here next week. If you want to sign up, you can follow us, Barbed Bar Open Mic Series. If you want to follow me, Dead Wall Reveries on Instagram. And we will be here next week. Yeah, looking forward to it and seeing everyone once again for the live stream. My name is Rich for the Barbed Bar Open Mic Series. Stay at home open mic. Peace. Peace, peace, peace. Later, guys.